Hi, I'm Kevin Yolvasacker here with Smithers Oasis and our new series, Love You Mom. We're going to celebrate mothers everywhere. Before I begin, I think it's important that we talk a little bit about the background of Mother's Day. In 1870, Julia Ward Howe came up with the Mother's Day Proclamation, and that was to honor mothers all over the United States. And it caught on in some of the major cities, but it was primarily funded by her, and upon her passing, it really disappeared. Well, many years later, Anna Jarvis, a young girl, was born, and she used to help her mother garden. Her mother's favorite flower was white carnations, and she was in the garden growing white carnations with her mom all the time. In 1905, her mom passed away, and she had a sermon for her mother, and she honored her with white flowers and white carnations. It was Anna Jarvis's idea to go further with the holiday, and in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed Mother's Day would be the second Sunday of every May from there on. So we honor Mom because of Anna Jarvis and because of Julia Ward Howe and the white carnations in the garden. So the first segment that I'm going to work on is going to be white carnations with other flowers to honor her mom. And I'm going to be doing all of these arrangements in Smithers Oasis tin pots. We love the tin pots. They come in 3 different sizes, 3 different colors, and they all have a great liner in them to keep the container from leaking should the seams happen to leak. And we know that can happen with tin. Well, it's not going to in this container. So then I've got all of my arrangements that I'm going to show you, and I've used Oasis Florofoam Max Life in all of them. I've soaked the foam in Floralife flower food, all right? You want to make sure you have flower food in the water that you're soaking the foam in, because foam does not contain food. Just remember that. Then I put that into all of my tin pots, and on most of these, the foam is below the edge of the container, except for on the 2 in the back where I did go up a little bit higher. But otherwise, it's below the edge of the container because I don't need all of that height to it. In the first one, very simple design. We all learned round arrangements. So in this one, got my foam in there, and then I put the flowers in next. And you can see there's my white carnations, garden roses stock, wax flower, and how pretty it is, just all in white like this, just very simple. Now, the reason I did something so simple is because those of us in our retail shops know that we have many arrangements that we have to mass produce. So in mass producing these designs, we have to be able to show it to the next designer and the next designer, and it has to be quick, easy. That way we can buy efficiently, we can price efficiently. So come up with designs that can be mass produced. Sure, you're going to get custom orders and you'll have to do those as well, but these are easily mass produced that I'm showing you now. With this one, as with all of them, I just have a little bit of sheet moss that went at the very end, and I took the sheet moss. In this one, there's probably that much sheet moss, and I just tucked it in to cover the foam that was exposed. You'll always want to tuck your moss into the edge of the container. You don't want to have any of it hanging out because moss acts like a natural wick. It can take all the water out of the container, so make sure you tuck that in there. So that gave me my first one. The second one, I took that design and I kind of expanded on it a little bit. I took and did a round arrangement, but then took a horizontal line across it using the Pussy Willow. So the horizontal line, again, gives me a little more drama, a little more flair to the design rather than just round. Remember, our moms, they all have different tastes. They all have different likes, different personalities. So you want to make an arrangement that fits mom just right. Did the arrangement, did the horizontal line, and then I came in at the end with some Oasis Middlino. And we love Middlino, comes in several colors, and just made my loop, poked it directly into the foam because it's going to hold in there once it gets wet from the foam, and it's going to stay in there nicely. If you do have any problem bending it, just run it through some water. Don't soak it, you don't need to, just run it through quickly, and it's going to be much more pliable and flexible for you. So where can we go from there? We started round, we took it, we went a little more horizontal, we can go larger. And so that's this arrangement back here. So you can see the same line. I've got my horizontal line here with the carnations, with the roses, and then I decided that I would come in with a strong vertical line, and I did that with Pussy Willow and the Alstroemeria. Again, keeping it all in the whites and ivories that I wanted to keep in this color harmony. And then another thing I did in this design is you can see that everything is grouped. The roses are together, the Alstroemerias together, the carnations are together. So grouping is very important. Again, principles and elements. You want to learn them, you want to incorporate them into your designs. And I do have Alstroemeria down here because it is up here and it pulls the eye back down into the design. So that's why that is down at the bottom as well. Just so pretty. And again, you can see in the tin pots how great these look, just sort of rustic and very homey. And then where can I go from here? I can make it more traditional. You can see this has a bit of contemporary to it. I can go traditional by just making it a little fuller, and I did that in this container. Now this is, you can see all three. This is the 4, 5, and 6 inch tin pot. Whoops. And the different sizes, how great they are, all the flowers I can get in here, and I can make in the 6 inch. I could really get this huge if I wanted to. So here's something that's a little more traditional. Again, I've got the larkspur up here instead of the Alstroemeria. I did do grouping as well, and a nice beautiful big hydrangea blossom in the middle. That actually takes up a lot of space there. I then came in with my variegated aspidistra and just kept, again, a little more traditional look compared to the contemporary look, but they're all really based on that same style. They all started with the round arrangement and they expanded from there. As with any of our products, after you've got them all finished, you're going to do an after treatment on all of them. And many of you use Crowning Glory. I have Finishing Touch, which is what I've been using. You're going to want to use one or the other on your arrangements. Make sure if you're using Finishing Touch, you just lightly mist it, all right? You don't want to soak it, just lightly mist it. And then with either of the products, you'll want to make sure that they're fully dry before you put them in the cooler. And then that's going to last that much longer for your consumer. So I hope you've enjoyed this little first video. There's 3 more to follow it. And again, I'm Kevin Yolvasacker here with Smithers Oasis.